You're sitting in an important meeting. Your phone is off. Suddenly, you hear a child crying from another room, far away. You stop mid-sentence, moving toward the sound without deciding to. You think it's because you're kind? The real answer is stranger than that. The sound of crying doesn't touch your heart. It breaks into your brain through a completely different door, one with no lock at all. That's not a metaphor. It's an exact description of something that happens in less than half a second. Think about the sounds you hear in a day: traffic, your phone ringing, background music. Your brain treats it as information it can ignore. But a child crying isn't classified as information. It's classified as an emergency. Why does this exist? The ear you hear with is the same ear your ancestor had 1,000,000 years ago. Your brain is built in layers. The top layer thinks and decides. The layer beneath it, far older, cares about one thing: survival. The brainstem, which controls your breathing and heartbeat, receives the sound of crying first, not the cortex that thinks, not the part that recognizes language. Just the brainstem. Before you know you've heard anything. Christine Parsons at Aarhus University used brain imaging to study this. She found the response fires in regions linked to movement and attention before conscious thought joins in. Your body moves before you decide to. This isn't learned. It's not a cultural habit. Infants exposed to another baby crying start crying too before they understand meaning. This is emotional contagion of crying, present from the first days of life. So the real question isn't why you stop everything when you hear crying. It's, why isn't this response tied only to your own child? Morton Kringleback at Oxford, who studies the parental brain network, found this response fires even in people with no children or connection to the crying child at all. The brain doesn't ask, is this my child, first. It responds first and asks later. This makes evolutionary sense. Humans lived in small groups of 20 or 30. A crying child wasn't one mother's job alone, it was everyone's, since its survival was the group's survival. Whoever responded faster, father, mother, or stranger, helped more children survive, and those genes spread. Which means you carry an internal alarm built not just for your own children, but for any child. Not a moral choice. Old programming, running beneath your awareness. Not every cry triggers the same intensity. Mark Bornstein, studying parental responses across cultures, found the ear analyzes frequencies. The more broken, irregular, and high-pitched the cry, the stronger the response. Why? A broken sound tells your brain, this isn't under control. A regular sound, your brain can predict and handle calmly. A sudden, shifting sound, it can't. And anything unpredictable is evolutionarily a potential threat. So the sound of crying doesn't affect you because it's sad. It affects you because it's chaotic, and your brainstem hates chaos more than almost anything else. Now, think about your everyday life. The sounds that interrupt you are chaotic by that same logic. A phone ring that shifts pitch, a siren that cuts and comes back. App notifications are designed with this exact physics. A sound that jumps unpredictably breaks your focus, no matter how hard you try to concentrate. Companies designing mobile alerts aren't designing pleasant sounds. They're designing sounds that mimic the same qualities in a crying child's voice: broken, unpredictable, sharp enough to stop your brainstem. Every time your phone stops you mid-sentence, you're not responding to modern technology. You're responding to an alarm system hundreds of thousands of years old, built to keep children alive in a tiny group, before writing or agriculture, before even a complete language. This system operates without your permission. You could be in the most important day of your career, and one sound stops you instantly. Not weakness, a part of you older than the meeting, older than the job, older than the idea of a schedule. So next time a child's cry interrupts you, even a stranger's, remember, it isn't a lapse in focus. It's a part of you working exactly as designed, millions of years ago, placing one child's survival above everything else. You're sitting in an important meeting, and suddenly, one sound stops all of it. Not distraction, because a part of you, long before meetings, phones, or language, already knew something mattered more. A child's life,